storm. Riders on the storm. Into this house we're born. Into this world we're thrown. Like a dog without a bone and packed her out on loan. Riders on the storm. There's a killer on the road. His brain is squirming like a toad. Take a long holiday. Let your children play. If you give this man a ride, sweet family will die. Killer on the road. Yeah.
We are here from Sweden to do a documentary about a special subject in school called slöjd. Do you know anything about it? Have you heard about it?
No.
No?
No, I haven't.
No? Okay. Do you know him?
Gustaf Larsson.
Yeah.
Gustaf Larsson.
Yeah.
I consider myself to be a student of history.
Yeah?
And I've never heard of Gustaf Larsson. I do not.
You do not? Do you know a subject in school called slöjd?
I do not.
Slöjd?
Yeah.
What is slöjd?
It's
This is like psychology?
What do you think? No, what do you think it is?
I would say that sex education.
Yeah. Could be just that, but it's not. But it's a sexy subject though.
It's a sexy subject?
Okay, do you know of a man called Gustaf Larsson?
I've heard of him.
You heard of him?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know anything you can remember in what?
I forget what he did, but I've heard his name.
Yeah, okay.
I forget what he did.
Yeah. He's connected to the school actually.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, he came from Sweden to introduce this subject I told you about, slöjd, in American schools. And North Bennett was the first school where he first trained young children and then teachers. And slöjd is a subject in school where you learn how to sew, knitting and wood making.
Mm-hmm.
Have you had this subject in school when you grew up?
When I went to school, I had woodworking, they called it. Yeah.
Okay.
And I took sewing lessons in industrial school during World War II.
Okay.
We used to make bathrobes for the soldiers.
Yeah, okay. Do you think if it was mandatory as subject in school today, would the children gain anything from it? Would it be good for children to practice this wood making and...
Sure.
Yeah?
So I'm sure.
I think it would be.
Yeah?
You know, woodcraft is awesome.
Days for which they sit and wait, all will be revealed.
Efter många om och men så har vi kommit fram. Vi har irrat runt igen här i de här delarna av Boston. Men nu är vi framme, North Bennett Street School. Ska vi gå in och hälsa på Miguel Gomez Ibanez.
All right, go.
Tell us a short history.
Well, the school was started by this woman, Pauline Agassi Shaw. And the reason she was able to do it is she married a really rich man, which is always a good idea. So at age 18, she was one of the wealthiest women in Boston at around 1878, 75. And because of her parents' interest in education, she became interested in Freude and the kindergarten movement, if that's something you know about. And so she paid for kindergarten. She told the Boston public schools that she would pay for the teachers and pay for the materials if they would start a kindergarten program. In other words, start teaching people at a younger age than they were teaching them at that time. And so she did in about 6 or 7 schools. And when they decided it was something that they wanted to do, she said, okay, you do it now. I'll go do something else. And the something else was Sloyd. Now, at the time, in this country, there was a lot of energy being put into industrialization, and a lot of people writing about the idea that the industrial society was producing a society without skills. And so part of the Sloyd movement brought here was in reaction to that. But Mrs. Shaw also believed that manual arts training and intellectual training were mutually reinforcing. They were, that one was required to develop the other and vice versa. So she was not so much interested, she wasn't as much as interested in developing manual skills for industry or even to preserve them as a cultural legacy, right? I mean, that wasn't her interest at all. She was more interested in the idea that it made smarter people.
Okay.
And
what did she have that thought from?
Well, it was in the policy. It was part of the Swedish Sloyd literature, but it was also something that Gustaf Larsson believed and wrote quite a bit about. I think that the phrase that Mrs. Shaw used was educating the whole person, and not just the brain.
How did you pronounce that? How did you find
private donation?
And today the school is financed
by tuition, by the students.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of money.
They pay for it.
So how much is it for a regular student?
$17,000 a year. But you know, at college here is the 30 or 40. If you go to a study, so it's cheap from.
Yeah. The typical student of the school. How would you describe it?
A typical student is 31 years old, changing careers and wanting to work with their hands.
Yeah.
50% of our students have already been to college.
Yeah.
So, and some of them have been to more than one college.
But they are so good.
That's because we teach them.
So this test they have to do, can you describe it for us?
They give you a piece of wood, and they want you, if there is one here, yeah. This is the only real test. You get a piece of wood, and you need to make this in 8 hours.
8 hours.
In 8 hours, from start to finish. And you can't glue it, because if you glue it, then your mistakes can be hidden. All by hand.
8 hours.
In 8 hours.
We had something similar when we did our test, but not that good.
The teachers, what kind of education do they have?
Well, most of them are graduates. Here, most are graduates.
Divided by the sexes is what?
Some are different. Cabinet and furniture making, maybe at 40 we might have 5 women. In jewelry, there's 20, we might have 3 men, 4 men. piano, mostly half and half. Bookbinding, more women. Carpentry, more men.
Would you prefer to see more?
I would prefer it just because I think it's a more interesting mix. I do believe that men and women are different. I do believe that. But it doesn't necessarily happen that they work or have different skills. I think they're different in other ways.
We talked a little bit earlier about Shaw's, what she saw with the Sloyd, why it was important. What do you see is important with this education? What does it bring to society today?
Well, I do believe in the original premise that hand skills make you a better person. There's something about the idea that what you do is visible and your mistakes are there. Everything you do is visible, and so you can't hide behind anything, and you then become someone who is able to put it down on the table and say, this is it, this is what I did, and not try to be clever or confusing. The world of makers is different than the world of talkers. We teach historical techniques because they are the most difficult. The furniture that was made around 1800, 1820, until about 1820, that was the most complex furniture that was ever made before the machines took over. And so if we can make that stuff, you can make anything. So really the reason we teach those periods isn't because we want people to go out and make historical furniture, but we want people to go out there and be able to make anything they want.
And the way you learn the students to do this is the same way that Gustaf Larsson started with it.
It's a series of tasks broken down into pedagogical order from simple to complex, and introducing one or two tools, 3 tools, 4 tools, exactly the same way. And that was the real vision of Sloyd, was to change this from a society of apprentices, where you go to work for a master, you sweep the floor for 3 years, you learn what he wants to show you, and then, at age 16 you do or do not have a great skill. And to take it away from that and say, it's going to be a series of projects that, when taken in sequence, will give you the skill. And that was a big deal.
Could you see, like, if we talk about the student backgrounds, do you see familiar
trends?
Patterns? Patterns of where they come from. Do they come from city or
no.
Nothing?
No, and that's why the school is so wonderful. That's what makes it such a great school. You go to Harvard or you go to another school, and there might be that sort of wealthy white. So, well, that's not. I shouldn't say that because there's not very many black or colored people here, and that is a problem. But age and social and economic background, it's everything. We raised the money, and then we went to the school, which is 2 doors away, and said, we'll teach your kids woodworking if you let us. And then we said, only 2 conditions. One is that everybody in the class takes it. No, you don't choose nobody gets to choose yes or no. Nobody gets to keep one person out, or, it's not because you're good, it's not because you're bad, it's not because of anything. Everybody has to come, and you have to promise that they'll come for a certain length of time. And so this is a public school, and they agreed, and they said that sounds like something we want to do. And so last year we had just 6th grade for just 6 months. And this year we have 6th, 7th, and 8th grades for 12 months, or for, the school year.
Why did you do it?
Because we love it. If you can give someone the mental image of working with your hands as fun, honorable, possibly responding to your particular gift, that's big.
What do students say? Do they like it?
Yeah, they love it.
Yeah. In
our educational system, there's a thing called special students, And special students, you know, you can imagine that it doesn't mean what it says.
Another way around, you mean?
Yeah. A special student is somebody who needs special help. They're either not very bright, or they have learning disability or something like that. So it was important that we have all the special needs students here as well. And what I love about this class is that I can't tell who's the special needs kids. The teachers know, but I can't tell. And I look at them and I say, I try to figure it out, and I can't figure it out.
And she started it here for both adults and for students. A lot of these benches actually are that old. And when she was able to introduce it into the Boston Public Schools, more teachers were trained here, and those teachers went throughout the country. So really, this is where that system began. So it's a work in progress. We've received grant money. I've been able to get enough money to fund a 3-year pilot program. And we have these people across the street at the John Elliott School, which is a Boston public school. We're very lucky that that partnership has allowed us to actually do this. And then I was able to get funders to come here and have a look at what we were doing last spring. So we've just been building it slowly. And we're really making it up as we go along.
But who is behind the money? You said you raised money, but who is the...
From whom?
Yeah?
Local foundations, people who are interested. The reason, and I have another $100,000 out in grant proposals, because we originally were doing a 6th grade program. When we received the money for the 3 years, Miguel and Tracy Griffith, the principal at the public school here, decided to expand the program to the 7th and 8th graders, so all of a sudden we needed some more money. I also need more money for management and measurement of this program. We need to be able to figure out if we're going to spread this both in Boston and then throughout the country again, which is way down the road. We're going to have to prove its efficacy and so on. And there's a lot of competition for the dollars for any kind of enrichment program. And what I'd like to be able to do is to help funders, but also public school administrators understand that this is not necessarily or even principally an enrichment program. It can have a deep effect on the students' ability to actually succeed in whatever they want to do.
When you contact that school close to here, what was the first reaction?
We have a partner in the school principal, Tracy Walker Griffith. I don't know if you met her.
No.
Who saw this immediately. And she was brought here by the Boston School Administration to turn around what was a failing school. Okay. It took 3 years to do it. And she has already done it in the 2 years she's been. This is an amazing woman. And she and Miguel really hit it off, and they figured out he wanted to do more with what we call Sloyd. She could see the value in this for her students. So we have a possible perception problem, you know, making boxes, making smooth, like, what does that have to do with my test scores? And when we can actually probably demonstrate that there is a connection.
We have the same issue in Sweden. Yeah, but it's still a mandatory subject in school, but we always have to defend it.
Then maybe we can help each other on that front, because that's really we're going to run into that problem pretty quick. We have to figure out if we're doing it right, what we can do better. We just started, you know, all right, let's just see what we can do, and then we figure out what we need to do to do it better.
Yeah, but is it your vision to spread Sloyd as a subject?
Exactly.
Do you like this school subject? Yeah. What is fun about it?
Because last time we made boxes, and I'm using it for like my pencils and notebooks.
Oh, that's nice. So, do you think that all children in the United States should have the opportunity to do this in school?
Yeah. I think it would be really cool.
Yeah.
Because some people, they don't get to do cool things like this.
No. Think about working with the machine.
It's pretty fun.
It's fun?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more fun to work with the machine than by hand?
Well, yes, unless you get cut.
Yeah, right.
But yeah.
You get a point there.
Yeah.
So, can we see the result?
It's not finished.
No, it's not finished, but really nice. What do you think about the subject?
I like it. It's fun.
Yeah?
We get to make boxes and this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
What is so fun with it?
You get to use your hands and cut and move around, so.
Different from everything else you do in school, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Do you think it would be good if all children in US would have this subject in school?
Yeah, but they need to be like over a certain age.
Yeah.
Because they could get hurt with the tools.
Yeah. Is it a bit scary to work with the machine?
To work with the machine, yeah, but with the hand tools, it's pretty fine.
No problem. Yeah. If you had to choose for yourself, what would you like to do in wood?
Probably make more boxes or make like a table.
Okay.
This is the end, beautiful friend. This is the end, my only friend, the end of our elaborate plans, the end of everything that stands, the end, no safety or surprise, the end, I'll never look into your eyes again.
Det är tur att jag tog med virkningen till USA, för då har man lite grann att göra.
Det hade varit så jävla... Tänk om vi inte hade haft vårt handarbete i bilen. Ja. Vad skulle vi gjort då?
Vad skulle vi gjort då? Nu har vi ju lärt alla hotellägare i Maine att virka.
Ni virkar där fram också, eller vad gör ni?
Va?
Ute Friday idag.
Ja, det var Facebook där framme, okej. Ja, men det var Linda och Kent Facebook, Sten, Virka. Okej.
When my kids were younger, I wanted them to go to locksmith.
Yeah, okay.
They didn't want it.
They didn't want to.
I said it's a good trade, you make a lot of money.
Yeah.
I wish I did it.
Yeah.
I could have stole a lot of houses.
Yeah, that's what we said yesterday when we visited them. This is a very good education.
Like a virgin, tack för det väldigt första. Like a virgin.
I do not.
You do not? Okay. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Taken from a newspaper, but it is this very room.
Men idag tycker jag att vi har ätit. Idag var ute dåligt samman för att vi har ätit något dåligt.
Vad äter du nu, Kent?
Vet jag.
Vad sa du?
Mitt i...
Jag är lite sugen på den här.
Är det kaffe?
Ja,
Så upp med hiven och bara... Bam. Och nu ska du bli jätteimponerad.
Hiven, ja, det är skit.
It's sure.
Jag får ha din.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah. Hey, he told me to come down here. He said you was beautiful.
I'm right in the middle of a very important interview.
Yeah.
All right. Come back later, please. It's for the news. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, Swedish news.
Okay, they will, but not right now. Okay.
Det där hatar jag. Det var mig. Wow! Wow! Fy fan vad plötsligt den kom alltså. Det var ju
ja, det känns som att jag vill sitta med säkerhetsbälte just nu.
Ja, det måste du. Fy fan vad det var.
Klipp. Tom.
Vad fan är Eiffelgulinnan?
Snälla katt. Gå och fråga någon det.
Sådär. Vad är Eiffelgardis?
Så var det nu. Färdigt.